And most of the people would answer this question as no. But if you ask them, do you smoke? There are chances that they may say yes, because they don't know whether you consider smoking as a bad habit or your attitude towards smoking is neutral. So the respondent has to give his response, but he should not be directly or indirectly be influenced by the bias, by the tone of the questioner. So questioner should keep this point in mind, because if the question is a biased one, if it is not in objective tone, then there are chances that the respondent will get influenced by the bias of the questioner, and therefore the information that we receive is going to be wrong, and ultimately that is going to be harmful to us, because we will not get true information. Another equally important point to be noted is that this framing of questioner is in fact an art. It requires special efforts on the part of the questioner. The investigator has to arrange his question in logical sequence, in logical order, and the questions should be interrelated. That is to say, from general to specific. So in the beginning he should ask some general question like the name and age. He should ask some personal questions, general question, and from that general question he can move to some specific question. Suppose you ask someone that how do you clean your teeth? By toothbrush, toothpaste or tooth powder, or by any other mean. And then after you ask him which toothpaste do you use, and after knowing about the toothpaste, it is better you ask him about the flavor, which flavor he likes the most. So there should be a logical sequence. Actually this logical sequence should be maintained very clearly in a good questioner. Even in our day-to-day talk, in our general talk also, we need to focus on this type of logical sequence. You might have seen that film Malamal Weekly, and in that film Paresh Rawal asked a question to a woman that how many children do you have, and after that he asked the woman that are you married, and the woman slapped him. So this happens, that one may get insulted, one may feel bad if you ask him about his marital status later on and you first ask him about the number of kids. So this sequence should be maintained. From factual to opinion, you ask people some question about their views, about their opinion at the end of the questionnaire, because after filling up the questionnaire on the reading habit, one can suggest some measures to be taken by the government, to be taken by the authority, or he can give his own opinion about the reading habit. So this opinion part should be the last part of a good questionnaire. So this point should be kept in mind while framing a questionnaire. Now there are certain don'ts also. Questions should not be personal. Generally, people don't like to disclose their personal matter, their private matters publicly. So many matters that are related to their private lives, like their marriage life, their sexual life, they may not like to disclose such matters publicly. So this type of question, that why didn't you get married yet? There may be some reasons, but nobody would like to disclose his reasons for not marrying or even for marrying. So these are the questions that we should avoid in a good questionnaire. Now, if the inquiry is about personal matter, it may happen that we need to ask certain personal question also, but there we need to take the respondent into confidence. We should assure the respondent that the information provided by him will be used for research purpose only, and it is ultimately going to be helpful to them for their future programs. And by this type of assurance, after this type of assurance, if you ask someone personal question, he may answer. But in a good questioner, it should be excluded. Then equally important aspect is emotionally charged questions should not be asked. Nobody likes to express his emotion publicly. Suppose you ask somebody, how did you feel when your mother died? Natural, anyone would have felt sad at the death of his mother. But this type of question that touches the emotion of the person, suppose you ask someone, how do you feel when your boss insults you? Or how do you feel when your children shouts at you? So this type of question should not be asked in a good questioner. Then the next important topic is double negation should be avoided. This double negation creates confusion in the mind of the respondent. He fails to understand the true meaning of the question. Now, suppose you ask somebody a question like this, are you against not allowing mobile in college? Now, the respondent get confused that what the person is really asking him. It is better to ask him, should mobile be allowed in college? Yes or no? So this question can be asked as a dichotomous question, and the person may answer in true way. But if you ask him that are you against, then he may get confused. Now equally interesting example is, have you stopped beating your wife? It means if he says yes, then he used to beat his wife, and if he say no, then he has stopped beating his wife. It also means that he used to beat his wife. So this type of question should not be part of a good questioner. Now, while framing responses also, one has to take special care. Sometimes the responses are arranged in such a way that the respondent get confused. So there should be all the responses should be mutually exclusive. The questioner should take care to include as many responses as possible, and even if he finds any possibility of any other response that doesn't come to his mind, then he should say other, please specify. So this type of responses should be arranged. Now look at this example. Now mention your monthly income. Now if you give him options like this, below 5,000, 5,000 to 10,000, 10,000 to 15,000, and 15,000 to 20,000, and last is above 20,000. Now in this type of responses, the respondent get confused. A person who is earning 5,000 per month has two options open. He can tick in one as well as in two. So we have to be precise in mentioning our responses also. The second response should be 5,001 to 10,000, and the third should be 10,001 to 15,000. So vice versa. So this type of care should be taken while framing a questionnaire. Now, a next question that comes to our mind is, what is the ideal number of question in a good questionnaire? Generally, we are doing research, we are doing this survey for our purposes, and the respondents may not be interested in answering lengthy questions or in answering a lengthy questionnaire. So questionnaire should be moderate in length, but it does not mean that there should be only 5 to 10 questions, because it leaves our inquiry incomplete. So we can say that the total average moderate number of questions in a good questionnaire should be 25 to 35, not less than 25 and not more than 35. This would be the ideal number of question in a good questionnaire, because it should be long enough to cover all the aspect of the inquiry. At the same time, it should be short enough to maintain, to keep up the interest of the respondent. So we should take care of this aspect also. Now the last but of course not the least important aspect of a good questionnaire is that the respondent should provide his questionnaire with appropriate blank lines. Now, if you ask someone to express his opinion or his suggestion and you just give him half a line, then he will get confused. So, for this type of open-end question, you need to provide at least 2 to 3 lines to write something. So, it should be with proper appropriate blank lines, proper spacing should be there depending on the length of the answer, and brackets to tick marks. So, this aspect should also be taken care of. Now, all these aspects, if we take care of all these aspects and we prepare a questionnaire, then it is surely going to serve the purpose truly, and we are surely going to communicate our communicate our purpose truly and accurately. And after this accurate communication only, we receive accurate responses. So, these are the certain points that one needs to remember while preparing a good questionnaire. Now, there is a format of a questionnaire. I talked about logical order. Now, this logical order, what is the ideal logical order for a questionnaire? That Hiral will explain you the format of a good questionnaire. Hiral.
Yes, ma'am. Of course, there should be a logical order while preparing a questionnaire. A good questionnaire should be in logical sequence, in logical order, as ma'am told, from general to particular. Right? Questionnaire should be in such a way that first of all general informations are required, and then from that general the respondent has to come to the particular. Keeping these all things in mind, there is decided a certain format to make a good questionnaire. Let us look at the format. There are 5 basic parts of format: the title, NB, that is note bene, the introductory part, the main part, and the opinion part. Now, let us take the title. The title contains the name of the topic. It is always written at the top of the questionnaire. It is, it's like the mirror of the questionnaire. It gives the gist of the questionnaire. What is the questions about? It tells the respondent that what is the question about, what is the survey about, why the questionnaire is prepared. It tells the purpose of the questionnaire. By reading the title, one gets the idea about the purpose of the questionnaire. It contains the name of the topic, again I am repeating, generally written at the top of the paper. Let us look at an example. A questionnaire on launching a new toothpaste. Here this is the title, always written at the top of the paper. So by reading the title, one gets the idea that okay, it is about the launching the new toothpaste. These people are asking question because they want a new toothpaste. Another example, a questionnaire to survey socio-economic condition of farmer. Here again, by the reading title, one gets the idea about the types of question, the purpose of question here. NB, that is note bene. It contains the required information and instructions about questionnaire. Obviously, a respondent may hesitate to answer all the question. A respondent may think why should I reveal my age here? Why should I reveal my gender here? Right? But in the note bene, in NB, it provides a general instruction that why the question is being asked, what is the purpose of the questionnaire. It again provides the guidance to fill up questionnaire. How the questionnaire should be filled, like answer all the questions, give the relevant information. Such type of things are written, such type of general instructions are written in note bene. It is, the another name is general instructions. Even in your question paper there are general instruction. Attempt all questions carries equal marks. Such type of instructions are given in your paper also. In questionnaire also, you need to give such type of information, such type of guidance, such type of general instructions, so that respondents do not hesitate to answer the question. Respondent do not feel insecure about the revealing his secret, about the revealing his facts. Let us have a look on the examples. Please give correct and relevant information. Information will be kept confidential. Again, this sentence is very important. Here, respondent may hesitate to reveal his habit of smoking. Papa घर पे मारेंगे, right? So here it is very necessary to inform that this information will be kept confidential. Information given will be used for the survey purpose only. As I told you, questionnaire is a research tool. The purpose of the questionnaire is to get some information, it's to get some conclusion. So here the questions are asked only for the survey purpose. Otherwise, the investigator don't have to do anything with the respondent, with the respondent's habit, with respondent's personal life, with respondent's age, but he will collect this information and use for the survey, use for his research. That has to be very necessary to make clear to the respondent about the purpose of the questionnaire, and this is solved by NB, note bene. The third part is the introductory part. Here the basic questions about personal detail, question about name, age, caste, religion, native place, mother tongue, education, profession, occupation, income, family members, and so on. As ma'am told, from general to particular. Here the general questions are asked in introductory part. Here introductory part is very common to all types of questionnaire. Whether the questionnaire is about the survey of some product, survey of some cold drink, survey of some eatables, toothpaste, these questions needs to be added. These questions are needed to be added to get some general information of the respondent. Whether the question is about launching of new product or whether the question about the socio-economic survey. The investigator need to know his age, his caste, his religion. At the same time, in other type of question, he needs to know his name, right? Then the main part. Main part here is very important. Here we come to the particular thing. Questions about the topic. They should be again in the order and relevant to the subject, to the point. If the questionnaire is about the toothpaste, the introductory part comes first, the name and everything. Then the main part. Main part is about the main the topic, the main thing, the relevant thing, to the point. So here there can be various types of main part. The main